Hi, everybody. Just a quick video to look at some of the resources that you have on Achieve and a few ways to navigate that platform. Keep in mind that as we go through, especially the first couple weeks of the course, that this is my first time using this platform too, and so I'm learning right along with some of you about ways that I can set this up. And some of this I've just done today, and so it'll be a bit of a learning curve for all of us, but we should be able to get through it. And so let's go ahead and just bring up the platform. So it should look something like this to you when you first open it up. And so there's a few ways that you can navigate things right on this page here. And so you've got your course, which will bring you to this page. You can go to the grade book here, not much in there yet, but if you do go there as we get rolling, you should be able to see your grades and get a rough idea of where you are for the course at any point. You can also just click on the ebook from this sidebar here, and you'll be able to access the entire textbook right from here. And so if you haven't read any of chapter 1 yet, then you just click on chapter 1, and there it is. And you'll be able to scroll through and read the entire book. And you can click on various sections if you want to, just skip to a certain section in there. If you want to look at electron arrangement in chapter 2, section 2.3, then certainly you can simply click on that section and it'll bring you right there. And so you're able to access the entire textbook right through just this link on the sidebar here. Now, if we go back to my course and we look at this landing page, there's a few different ways that you can view this page. One of them is by assignment. And so that'll show you anything that is due and anything that is coming up. Homework assignments are typically always going to be available and visible. I think for the most part, I set those so they're available up to 10 days before they are due, but I will double check that. And so you'll be able to access homework assignments up to 10 days before they're due. And so it is showing that next week, your only assignment is your homework. Now, so that your homework assignment is due on Sunday by 11:59 p.m. Whatever you have done by that point, you will earn a grade based on what you have completed. You also have your first quiz next week. Now, that's not showing up in your assignments yet. That's one of the aspects of Achieve, is that the only way that I can have that, the only way that I can limit your access until the day of the quiz is by not even allowing you to see it until that day. And so on Tuesday, so remember your first quiz is on Tuesday, May 25th, and the quiz will then pop up. It would show up in this week. And so next week, your quiz should show up right here on Tuesday, and it will be available for the full 24 hours on that day. And so you'll be able to see your quiz on the day that they are assigned. And you'll be able to see them right here on this assignments tab. Same thing when we get to the midterm and the final exam. Now, again, I haven't actually done this yet, and so fingers crossed, but the way that I have everything set up tells me that it should work exactly like that, that on the days of those assessments, you'll be able to see them right here on that assignments tab. Let's look at some of the other resources you have here. You can also go to course content. And so this is going to bring things up by various chapters. You'll also see that at the end of, for instance, homework 1 is over chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so at the end of those, you see homework 1 showing up here. Homework 2, which will be due the following Sunday, is over 5 and 7. So once that one is available, that one will be showing up right here after chapter 7. Let's click into each of the chapters and see what you have there. So if we open up chapter 1, this is another way that you have to access your textbook. And so right within these course resources, if you click chapter 1 reading right here, this will also simply bring you right to the textbook. And so that will bring you right to chapter 1. A little slow sometimes, but it will bring it up. And there's chapter 1, and we could go through and read all of chapter 1 if we wanted to right now. Other resources that you have here, and sometimes, and I get this weird error message that shows up there, and I'm not sure why. Little glitch they have in their system. Another resource you have here is answers to any of the practice exercises. As you look through the chapter, and actually let's go ahead and bring the chapter up. There is something that I wanted to show you there as you're reading, and ways that to help you master the material. But as we read through here through chapter 1, so okay, we're reading through our intro here, and then we have section 1.1 on matter and energy. There are 2 different types of practice problems within the chapters as you read them. We have what we're calling, or what your textbook calls, where are they here? Worked exercises. And so these worked exercises are example questions, and they give you the solutions and explanations right within the body of the text. And so for this one here, the given substance, in which state of matter will particles be farthest apart from each other. And so you could cover up the answer if you wanted as you're reading. Maybe just do something like this and then try to come up with an answer and say, I think it's gas because, and then sure enough, and it gives you the answer right there with a full explanation. You also have practice exercises. These practice exercises do not have the answers directly in the text. However, if we go back to our resources, and I get my little error, of course I do. Sorry about this. This is definitely acting up on us. Here we go. So one of the other course resources that you have within the course content is you do have the answers to those practice exercises as well. And so that's another way just for you to gain some extra practice as you're reading, as you're working your way through the material. There are those practice exercises that do not have the answers right in the text, but you're able to access all of them here. And so that'll be another way to help you study. The rest of these, so these links here, these are all different animations, different videos, different interactive demonstrations that will help you, just in order to learn the material. And so, for instance, if we wanted to find the density of gold, we can drag this over here and we find the mass of gold. All right, that tells us the mass of gold is 31.100 grams. And if we remember that the density calculation, actually, let me go ahead and we'll bring up my whiteboard real quick. Maybe. I'm not having very good luck with some technology today. Here we go. So if we remember that the way to calculate density is mass over volume, then we now know the mass of this piece of gold at 31.100 grams. And it would also allow us then to find the volume by displacement. We have a graduated cylinder that right now is at 200.0 milliliters. So our initial volume, 200.0 milliliters. We drop our piece of gold into here. And now our final volume is 201.6 milliliters. So that tells us that the volume of gold is 1.6 milliliters here. So I can put my 1.6 milliliters in for my volume, and I do out my calculation. And I find a density of gold equal to correcting for sig figs, 19 grams per milliliter. And so that's just a nice, quick, easy, interactive demonstration. And there's some others like this one, measuring density of videos with state changes. And so those are just ways to help you master the material. Things that you, if you're needing some extra help, needing some extra resources beyond what I have on my website as well, Achieve has some of these on the platform to help you out. You'll also find within this course content a couple different ways to practice. One, you can just straight up click on the chapter 1 practice, and we'll see here that there are lots and lots of different practice questions for you. They're broken up by, you can see question types, things like sorting, classifying potential energy. This is giving my view, so it's actually showing you how the answers too. But you can see that it's also broken up by topic within chapter 1. So if you want a little more help with metric prefixes, then you know where to go for that. And there's my error again. See if it'll just let me refresh my way through it. No. Okay. You also have this adaptive quiz. The adaptive quiz, just like the name implies, adapts to your answers. And so you'd go through and answer all the questions that you can. Greater the energy for a particle, we're going to guess greater the speed. And we get our correct answer. And then we move on. So and as you go through this and as you go through, you can either check out the textbook. And so this will bring you right to the textbook link for that particular chapter or that particular question. You can get a hint. It gives you a few fewer points, but it'll give you a hint, or you can just flat out show the answer if you want to. As you go through this, it'll come up with a study plan for you, and it will let you know as you go through all of it, basically what your score was. If you went through the whole entire activity, it would eventually let you know what your score was and let you know places where you then might want to focus in on your studying a little bit, and it'll tell you where in the book to actually focus on that. And so that provides you with just more practice that you're able to do in each chapter. Now, as of right now, I do have that set up pretty much like that for chapters 1 through 7. And so we see here in chapter 2, the same thing. You're reading, answers and practice exercises, a few different interactive demonstrations and videos, and then you practice in your adaptive quiz. For chapter 3, for some of these, there are fewer resources, fewer animations or interactive activities than chapter 4. And so again, that's found within the course content as you're looking at your My Course page within Achieve. You can go to any one of the chapters and find the reading, answers to practice exercises, some videos and other just helpful tools, and some practice problems. Remember as well that you can always find practice problems right on our 107 website. If you go right into topic details and we go to any of the topics and the materials page, you will also find practice problems for most of these topics, not necessarily all, depends on what resources I had available. But for most, you'll find some practice exercises there. But I also understand that people like to be able to do practice exercises within Achieve because that's the platform that you'll be using for your tests and quizzes. And so that's all I had for today. Just really wanted to show you those tools that you have in Achieve, those resources that you have, and a little bit more on how the platform is set up. I certainly welcome feedback on this platform as we go. Like I said, it is the first time that I've used it. I think it is a pretty decent platform. There's certainly some room for improvement. We've seen some of the glitches even just in trying to show you some of these resources. So there's some room for improvement here, but it's a pretty decent resource, pretty decent platform, and they do have a lot of just various interactive word I'm looking for, just interactive tools and various videos and things like that to help you out. But certainly if there's something that's not working for you, want to let me know, and we'll see if we can work a way around it. But I hope everyone is settling into the course rather nicely at this point. Most people have signed up for Achieve by now. If you have not, you want to get on that very quickly. Your first homework assignment is due on Sunday. And I am hearing from some people that it's taking anywhere between 4 to 6 hours to complete it. A few people have. And that's honestly roughly my target. The 4 to 6 hours is about what I believe you should be spending on your homework every week in this course. Again, remembering that every week in this course is the equivalent of 2 weeks in a regular semester course. And so that I feel is a very fair amount of time to be able to expect you to spend on homework. And so that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And I hope everybody is enjoying their day. Thank you.